After that day, after Amaka helped me pick up my oranges, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Her smile stayed in my mind. Her voice echoed in my head. Nobody had ever spoken to me with that kind of respect. Not even when I was surrounded by wealth. Not even when I wore suits or stepped out of luxury cars. But that day, in my slippers, sweating under the hot sun, she looked at me like I mattered. I wanted to see her again. Suertsu modil foise, waiting for her smile. The next morning I cleaned my oranges and placed them on the tray. But this time I made sure to pass by the small shop where I first saw her. It was a small wooden kiosk that sold biscuits, Indomie, drinks and soaps. I stood across the road, pretending to adjust my tray just to catch a glimpse of her. And there she was, Amaka. She was sweeping the front of the shop. Her hair was tied with a scarf and she wore a faded but clean gown. Her hands moved quickly as she swept, but her face looked tired. Still, she smiled. Even with tired eyes, she smiled. When our eyes met, she raised her hand and waved. My heart beat fast. Suertsu modil foise, getting closer. I continued passing by her shop every day. Sometimes she would wave. Other times she would call me, Gaifiani, come and rest here a bit, the sun is too hot. One afternoon, she offered me a sachet of cold water. Take, you look like you've been walking for hours. I thanked her and sat beside her for a few minutes. We talked about little things, how the weather was too hot, how sales were slow, how the compound rats were disturbing her at night. It felt natural. No pressure, no lies, no pretending. Just two strangers trying to survive in the same hard world. Suertsu modil foise, her story broke me. One day I got bold and asked, "So, you work here every day?" She nodded. "Yes, since my second year in university." I looked at her confused. "You dropped out?" She looked down and smiled sadly. "Yes, my mum got sick. I had to come back home. I couldn't leave her alone and we had no money. She told me her father died when she was 12. Since then, her mother had struggled to raise her. Life had not been kind to them. Now she worked every day in that kiosk just to buy medicine for her mother and feed them both." I didn't say anything. My chest was heavy. I came from a world where I could call one person and send N10 million in seconds. But this girl had not seen N10,000 cash in months. Yet she was strong, she smiled, she helped others, she didn't complain, and she respected me, a hawker. Suertsu modil foise, the warning. A few days later, some girls from the street stopped her and warned her. "Amaka, why are you always talking to that orange boy? You're too fine for him. He doesn't have anything, look at his slippers." Amaka looked them in the face and said calmly, "He's not stealing, he's not begging, he's working. And that's more than I can say for some of you."